This presentation is about how the collaboration between DIT Library Services and DIT's Career Development Centre is helping our students and graduates to get the edge, a favourite slogan of our colleagues in the Career Development Centre. Until 2 years ago, this was how DIT Library Services collaborated with the Career Development Centre. The CDC used the training room in Aungier Street Library for its careers workshops, and there was a careers area in the library where print materials were displayed. This collaboration between the library and the Career Development Centre was fine insofar as it went, but the publication of this report made me wonder whether we shouldn't deepen and expand our collaboration. The report is Conul's literature review on current practice in the development of employability skills. This report aims to demonstrate the contribution of libraries to employability and the development of graduate attributes, and to situate libraries' traditional information literacy role in the new, broader academic skills landscape. It also includes best practice examples from library and careers collaborations in academic institutions in the UK. This report was the trigger for my reaching out to the Career Development Centre. Dave Kilmartin from the Career Development Centre and I then began to discuss how the library and CDC could collaborate to help students to develop their employability skills, specifically in the area of digital literacy. We approached DIT's Learning, Teaching and Assessment Committee with a proposal to develop a digital literacy toolkit to help academic staff to easily integrate digital literacy into programmes and modules. We found that this sat well with existing plans to develop a graduate attributes toolkit. Digital literacy is one of DIT's graduate attributes. A working group, of which Dave and I were both members, was duly set up to develop a draft digital literacy toolkit, which was intended to act as a template for a toolkit for each of the graduate attributes. The toolkit begins with the definition of digital literacy. The working group was drawn to JISC's definition, which defines digital literacy as the ability to appropriately and effectively use digital tools for learning, working and living in a digital age. We were particularly drawn to JISC's infographic, which demonstrates digital literacies as encompassing other literacies and skills, including media literacy, information literacy, ICT literacy, career and identity management, etc. Having defined digital literacy, the toolkit then provides a brief explanation of why it's important for our graduates. Digital literacy is essential for employability and study. Students and graduates need the skills to be able to use and interact with digital technologies, and the information literacy skills to be able to select, critique and evaluate the information. Being digitally literate helps students to learn more effectively, and digital literacy is integral to building and managing career and professional reputation, and is essential to perform effectively in the workplace. Also, employers increasingly expect graduates to be digitally literate. The toolkit then provides real-life case study ideas designed to help programme teams and individual academic staff members to easily incorporate elements of digital literacy into a programme or module, and provides sample learning outcomes for the various skills developed. So how is the digital literacy toolkit being used in DIT? I mentioned it was used as a template for the graduate attributes toolkit as a whole. These are DIT's graduate attributes known as the 5 E's. Each of the 5 E's is comprised of several additional attributes, and the digital literacy toolkit was used as a template in the development of a toolkit for each of these 20 attributes that comprise DIT's graduate attributes. And there was library representation on the working group that developed the graduate attributes toolkit due to our involvement in the development of the digital literacy toolkit, which there might otherwise not have been. The digital literacy toolkit is used as part of the Diamond 9 exercise. The Diamond 9 is a mechanism whereby a programme committee prioritises the top 9 graduate attributes they would like graduates from the programme to develop, and they must include at least one from each of the 5 E's. So this is an example of what a Diamond 9 for a particular programme might look like. And you can see one of the graduate attributes included here is digital literacy. At this point, the digital literacy toolkit would then be used by the programme committee to develop ways in which digital literacy can be integrated into the programme. It could also be used by individual lecturers seeking to incorporate digital literacy into their module. The success of the Digital Literacy Toolkit whetted our appetites for further collaboration between the library and the Career Development Centre. We were keen to collaborate to help students to develop their digital literacy with a view to compiling better job applications and preparing for interviews, and indeed to help students to be better able to hunt for jobs in the first place. Last December, library and career staff met to discuss how we could do this. The Career Development Centre staff were keen to develop their own skills to help them to better support the students. So library staff agreed to offer a Train the Trainers session to CDC staff. CDC staff provided a list of the types of questions they encouraged students to ask themselves when looking for a job, and this informed the content for the session. The interactive workshop began with using Google's advanced searching tools to more effectively find job vacancies. It covered keywords, synonyms, Boolean operators, all the tools librarians are familiar with in teaching information literacy sessions, but which students may not feel apply outside their academic work. It also covered setting up alerts, for example for job announcements or on a particular company. The second part of the workshop addressed the questions the Career Development Centre encouraged students and graduates to ask themselves about the company they're interested in applying to, or the industry as a whole, general labour market information, etc. Of course, the library's market research, business and news databases offer this type of information, but our colleagues in the CDC hadn't been aware of them, and the students didn't view our databases in the context of helping them to find a job. Having had the workshop, the careers advisors now recommend that students use the library databases when doing job applications and preparing for interviews. But we really wanted to ensure that we could reach more students than those who simply sign up for a Career Development Centre workshop or who meet with a careers advisor. Having raised awareness among the Career Development Centre staff of the range of information available to them and to students through the library, and of the supports library staff can offer, we agreed that library services and the CDC should collaborate to jointly develop a website for job hunting, combining Career Development Centre and library resources. We're calling it DIT Job Space. It's a work in progress, but we're planning to launch it in September. And as you can see, the content will be taken both from careers resources and for library resources. We anticipate that this partnership between library services and the Career Development Centre will continue into the future, and in fact the Career Development Centre will be part of the Library and Academic Hub in our new Grangegorman campus. So what benefits has all this collaboration between library services and the Career Development Centre had? Well, for students, the collaboration has and will, as the Digital Literacy Toolkit is used more over time, help students to develop their employability skills. It'll also help them to find jobs, to prepare their applications, and to do interviews where they can demonstrate that they have an edge over the other candidates. For the Career Development Centre, it has expanded the resources available to the careers advisors in their work with students. And for the library services, the collaboration emphasises the transferable nature of digital literacy. Digital literacy isn't just necessary for success in assignments, it also has real-world application, both in terms of improving students' and graduates' employability generally, and in terms of helping them to find jobs. In addition, library services wasn't heavily involved in the development of DIT's graduate attributes, but by approaching the Learning, Teaching and Assessment Committee with the Career Development Centre with a proposal to develop a digital literacy toolkit, we not only secured a role in developing that toolkit, but also then had a seat at the table when the graduate attributes as a whole, the graduate attributes toolkit as a whole was being developed. And finally, our involvement in the Graduate Attributes Toolkit Working Group meant that we developed new relationships with the Learning, Teaching and Technology Centre, the Access and Civic Engagement Group, Student Services, the Disability Services and more. This is already leading to additional collaborations and has also raised the profile of library services outside its traditional role. We and our colleagues in the Career Development Centre feel that this collaboration has been successful and has been beneficial both to us and, most importantly of all, to our students and graduates. Thank you.